Yes.
This video is brought to you by the House of Blades, and today we're going to be checking out the brand new Data Crew What a Slider EDC pouch. This thing is super underrated, and I think it rivals the Garage Built Gear Mighty Pouch Plus. We're going to go over all that stuff in today's video, so for now, sit back, relax, and let's get it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Minimalist. My name is Brandon, and today we're going to be checking out the What a Slider from Data Crew. This is an EDC pouch organizer that's been on the EDC market for about 2 months now, and it's been severely underhyped. Not a lot of people know about this pouch yet, but I guarantee you if I pull out this guy here, you probably know what it is, and that is the Garage Built Gear Mighty Pouch Plus. You've probably seen one of these all over your Instagram feed, and that's just due to the fact that the Garage Built Gear Mighty Pouch Plus is probably one of the best pouches that you can possibly get today, at least until making this video, because in my opinion, the What a Slider actually beats out the Mighty Pouch, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Before we jump into all the nitty-gritty details, let's go ahead and talk about pouches and why I carry these things. See, the thing is, if you have never owned a high-quality pouch, you probably don't know what you're missing out on. Basically, these things are like the gateway to a completely different backdoor to the EDC hobby. And the reason why I say that is because people probably already carry knives. You're probably on my channel because of a knife. But when it comes to everyday carry, there is a myriad of different objects and items that you can collect and carry with you on a daily basis. So when you get your first EDC pouch, you're like, okay, let me try just putting my pouch in there, maybe a small flashlight, and then a couple other things like a lighter sitting around. And the thing is, when something is empty, our human minds want to fill it up with a bunch of stuff, which this thing right here, the What a Slider, is fantastic for it. Just to give you guys a quick example, look at the difference in terms of thickness on the What a Slider versus the Garage Built Gear Mighty Pouch. This thing is almost double, if not triple, the thickness of the Mighty Pouch. And yeah, this thing doesn't have anything in it right now, but let me show you guys an empty What a Slider. So here's another one, and there you go. I mean, it's still going to be quite a bit thicker. That is one of the biggest positives I have for this pouch. So before we jump into the pouch and all the details, let's give a quick word to today's sponsor. This video was brought to you by the House of Blades. The gents over there have a fantastic warehouse with a bunch of different offerings. They stock brands like Benchmade, ZT, Microtech, Spyderco, We Knives, Civivi, and a bunch of others. On top of that, if you want to personalize your knife and truly make it yours, they do offer a really cool laser engraving service. You can literally send over your logo or whatever text you want engraved on the blade, and they will do it for you. I personally love customizing my own knives, so if you guys are into that stuff, go check out their website, and if you decide to order, use code EDM at checkout, and that will get you an additional 10% off your order. Thank you so much to House of Blades for supporting Everyday Minimalist. Let's get back to the video. Okay, so the What a Slider. This thing goes for about $60 on Data Crew's website. They usually drop products every single Friday, and if you sign up for their super secret newsletter, which is literally on their website, just scroll all the way down to the bottom, they might do some early releases on Wednesdays, and it could be any day of the week. These things usually take a second to sell out, which is a really good thing because if you're seeing this video, you'll probably get a chance to score one. They aren't nearly as hardcore to get as a Mighty Pouch Plus. These things sell out within seconds, whereas you could probably get one of these within like an hour or two of launch. Now, in terms of overall dimensions, you're looking at 3.5 inches by 4.5 inches by 2 inches. And then you've got a 500D outer shell, which makes this thing just super robust. And then my most favorite thing about this pouch is its waterproofness, if that's even a word, but you've got this number 5 coated coil zipper, which is really nice. And I can proudly say that this zipper is probably the very best zipper that I've ever experienced within any EDC pouch. After that, you've got a full face hook and loop setup here, so you can customize it with a bunch of your different Ranger eyes. If you guys don't know what Ranger eyes are, they're these PVC patches. They kind of come in leather sometimes and then different materials, but I've got a bunch of them here. If you're interested in seeing more of this stuff, just go to Reclub on Instagram. Those guys over there have a really awesome page, and then you guys can kind of get into the collector scene of these PVC patches. Because everyone keeps asking, I'll be leaving a link to this binder where you can store all of your Ranger eyes in the description below. It's simply on Amazon. I think they go for like 15 to 20 bucks. But yeah, let's get back to the What a Slider. slider. On the back side, you have another zipper with a pocket here. I like to store a lot of my business cards in here along with some band-aids. You could probably also stack in a couple credit cards and stuff like that. And then to wrap up this monochrome aesthetic that I did on this one, I did go ahead and add in my own paracord along with a zero feud sriracha monochrome bead. On the backside zipper, I've got this Big Idea Designs titanium bead. And of course, I'll be linking all this stuff in the description below. We're not gonna really go into a ton of detail on all the stuff that's inside this. Stay tuned for next month's pocket dump because I'll definitely be including all of the items. So when we go to unzip it, this thing literally just unzips like this and then it folds out and then it stays put with this elastic strap. So let me show you guys inside this pouch. There is so much room in here, almost to the point where I think I can fit more things inside this pouch over the Mighty Pouch Plus. I've got 10 EDC items inside this pouch and it's hard to believe, but there's a ton of stuff in here. I've got my knife, flashlight, pry bar, my mini multi-tool. I've got my piece of pocket art that I usually stick in here, a Zippo lighter, a couple titanium toothpicks, and then again on the backside I've got band-aids as well as business cards. But in terms of the internal setup, you've got a nylon mesh setup and then you've got 3 pockets up front. So let me just show you guys real quick, just take out all these things. Basically there's 2 of these mesh liners that are really flexible. You can fit some large objects in there or small objects. And then on the backside you have another large pocket. This is really convenient because I like to stick my flashlight here in the center and then I can just go ahead and slide in my knife and then my pry bar. And this is just super nice because none of that stuff is clashing against each other. So if you have some higher end knives, pry bars, flashlights, stuff like that, and you want to keep it really pristine, then you can just fit all of your expensive EDC items on this side of the pouch. Moving over to the other side of the pouch, this is where it gets really interesting because this literally beats out any other pouch that I've ever seen. And on the other opposing side, you have this hook and loop setup where you can actually apply your own interior ranger eyes. This is really cool for Instagram posts just because you can customize it with a couple ranger eyes and have the pouch entirely open. Take a picture of your entire loadout and then close it up. And the thing is with the Garage Built Gear Mighty Pouch Plus, for example, when you go to open it up, this is kind of the setup. There's no interior loop or anything like that. I personally think that that's super innovative. Carlos and Milk, the founders of Data Crew, they did a fantastic job to include interior hook and loop. It's just awesome. Okay, so I just took everything out on this side. There is going to be a large pocket on the back side. Right in front of that, you do also have kind of like a half size pocket. This works out really well, especially if you're going to be using something like a multi-tool. This is going to be the SOG Power Pint and it slips right in just like that. And then I've got my Zippo lighter that sits literally right next to the Power Pint. It fits near perfectly. You probably have like 1 millimeter worth of movement. And then once you stack in your piece of pocket art, like everything is just super snug and secure. Again, I'll be making a video on this entire loadout, so you guys can go ahead and check that video when it goes live, probably next week. So that pretty much wraps up the interior of the pouch. The last thing I wanted to point out is going to be how much room you have in between all of the stuff inside. Because the water slider is so thick, you can fit even more things just in the middle. To give you a quick reference, I can go ahead and slap on my Hank. I can grab a bottle of KPL and then literally just zip everything up and it still fits, which is just super convenient. When you hold this thing, they named it perfectly. It literally feels like a hamburger, which a slider, if you guys know what that is, it's like a mini hamburger and it just feels like a really solid piece of gear. So what are my overall thoughts on the Wada slider? If you have been trying to hunt down a Garage Built Gear Mighty Pouch Plus, this is going to be the one that you're going to want to go for. The Mighty Pouch Plus is near impossible to purchase unless you're present for a drop, and we're talking like you have to buy it within 30 seconds or they're sold out, whereas the Wada slider is going to be a lot more accessible. In terms of fit and finish, these are the most premium pouches that I have inside my collection, even over the Garage Built Gear Mighty Pouch Plus. The reason why I say that is because it's going to be very water resistant. It's got a better build quality. The zippers are going to be quite a bit nicer and it can fit more gear. That's the most important part of my everyday carry. And when you go to open it up, it's got the interior hook and loop, which just sets this thing apart from any other pouches out there. Yes, it's going to be $10 more than the Mighty Pouch Plus, but this thing is worth it. I would heavily suggest that anyone and everyone pick up one of these Wada slider pouches, and I almost guarantee you here within the next year or so, it's going to be super hard to get in on a drop for one of these pouches. They've got a bunch of different variants, so I've got the graphite, OD green, as well as tan. The black canvas is going to be releasing this week, and I am just so excited for that one one because it has that complete all black aesthetic. Make sure that you guys sign up for Data Crew's secret newsletter and you guys can go in on early drops. They also have keychains as well as Ranger eyes. This is one of them. They are very high quality as well. They come with fantastic packaging. Maybe I can roll over some B-roll just so you guys can see how these things come. But there you guys have it. My overall review on the What a Slider. There's really no negatives I have to say about it and all positive remarks. Data Crew's not paying me to say any of this stuff. I just love their product. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. If you liked this video, throw me a thumbs up. If you disliked it, throw me a thumbs down, and I promise I'll do better next time. Shout outs to all of my patrons and return viewers. You guys are fantastic. We would not be this type of channel if it weren't for you. And aside from that, prepare yourselves for a bunch of Blade Show West content. They're coming here to Salt Lake City, Utah, my hometown. If you guys so happen to be walking around the show, come up to me. I'd love to shake your hand, meet and greet with you guys, see what you guys are carrying, maybe do pocket dump videos. I don't want to waste any more of your guys' time. I guess we'll catch you all on the next one. Peace out.